Here we are, you guys. We are live everywhere now. This is Yarcel, the Multipreneur. And today is Monday. So you know that means it is a Money Monday. Well, when do we get started, y'all? We get started at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, and 6 p.m. for our friends that are in the UK. So I missed the TikTok crew last week. We went live. We kicked off the Multipreneur Series with a beautiful woman. Her name was Wendy Murray Baptiste. And Wendy joined us talking about her businesses. And she was telling us some really key information about real estate and the real estate market and some tips if you're looking to buy. So you may want to go back, catch the replay so that you can get all of her tips and stuff like that. And her socials are on there as well. So you can follow Wendy and get to know Wendy. Also, for those of you on TikTok, we have a goal today of 100 TikToks. We're using those funds to give weekly financial journals to people who cannot afford to pay the $20 to get their own journal, but they really want to get started. I get a lot of requests all of the time for people who want my book, but they can't afford the $20. So if you would like to support that cause, on Facebook, you can give stars, and on TikTok, you can send a gift as well. So we appreciate that, and those people who we give the journals to, they appreciate that as well. So your donation helps to give out the financial journal to those people who need it or would like to have it, and they just really can't afford it, but they really are trying to get on that financially free journey, like we all are. You know what I'm saying? And as I always tell you, it's a journey for everybody. I too am not yet debt free, right? So I don't talk about anything with you that I'm not walking in on my own. So we're gonna all give our testimonies together. So I have on my clock 1 p.m. So let's go ahead and get this show on the road. It is 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So what that means is it's time to get this show on the road. It's Yarcel, the Multipreneur. This is Monday. So you know that means it's a Money Monday. This is the Multipreneur Series. So last week, you guys, I started talking about people who own 3 or more businesses. And I introduced you guys to a lady. Her name was Wendy. And we talked to Wendy, but before I even talked to Wendy, I gave some skills and some tips about transferable skills and things of that sort. And I received several messages from people who looked at the replay and some people who actually watched live, and they said that they wanted me to go back, talk about the transferable skills, and not only talk about the transferable skills, but talk about some of the things that I know that it takes to run multiple businesses. And I said, you know what? That's true. So next week, I can't wait for you guys to meet this gentleman. We're going to talk to him and the businesses that he runs. But this week, I am going to take a step back and go over probably what I should have went over first before we kicked off the Multipreneur Series. And I'm going to give you those transferable skills so that you can write those down. And also, too, you may be feeling like you want more streams of income. And maybe you don't you're afraid. I've been getting a lot of messages as well with people who they want more streams of income. They want multiple streams of income, but they're not sure how to get started. They just don't even know how to begin. And so we're going to talk about some of the skills that are inside of you that you probably don't even realize that are inside of you. So let's go ahead and get it started. How do we start off Money Monday? I do start it off every Monday by giving you a scripture. And today's scripture is Hebrews 11:1. Now, faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Basically, what that means is faith is having the confidence that what you hope for, what you really want, is going to happen, right? And you have assurance that even though you don't see that it has happened, it's going to happen. All right? So that is our scripture for today, Hebrews 11:1. So let's talk. I am Yarcel, the multipreneur. Hence, why I like talking about multiple streams of income. I want you to have the confidence that you can have multiple streams of income. So let's talk about what does it take to run multiple businesses. Let's start off with that before we even start talking about the transferable skills, okay? So first of all, I want to keep it real. I'm not going to be bringing people on for you guys to listen to and just getting you all hyped up and rah-rah and this person has this business and this person has that business without talking about the nitty gritty, the real, the things that are true when it comes to this game. And the first thing that I will tell you is that it is not easy. A lot of people like to make it seem like it is so easy just to be an entrepreneur. Well, let me first say, first and foremost, it's not easy just to run one business. It's not easy being an entrepreneur just right off from the beginning. And a lot of people just make it seem like it is so easy, especially if you are a part of a community that you're trying to get people to join your business. Shout out to those of you who are in multi-level marketing and direct sales. Y'all know, if you follow me and you know me, you know I was in direct sales for a really long time. I'm still in direct sales in a different type of way now, but I believe in it. It helped my family, totally transformed my entire life. But I will say, it's not easy. It's never easy to run a business. So we've got to stop playing it off and making people think that it is so easy to be an entrepreneur. Number one, you have irregular income. You have irregular income, and for some people, you struggle week to week, paycheck to paycheck. So imagine when you are a person that has irregular income. You sometimes you don't know when the money is coming, how much it's going to be. Like, you just don't have a clue. And it can be really difficult at times, especially when you don't have a stable check, a steady check coming in from one particular place. Some people have it a little bit easier when it comes to their entrepreneurial walk, in that they are, so let's say they have a spouse and the spouse has a stable income, so it makes it a lot easier on the household. That's a totally different experience than a person who is just, working for themselves. Okay. So let me first tell you, first and foremost, it ain't easy. It ain't easy to do it. Okay. So no matter what people tell you, don't believe that hype. Okay. I'm just trying to tell you. A lot of times too, something else that people get mistaken of when it comes down to running a business and being an entrepreneur with your business, they feel like people who run multiple businesses, they have these huge, large, different types of organizations, and each one is making a whole lot of money. That's just statistically not correct. When you look at people who are multipreneurs, serial entrepreneurs, the different things that we call them, usually what happens is, in their business, you look collectively at all of the different types of businesses that they run or wherever they are working with, and you see profitable, very small to medium-based businesses, and they're operating in a very specific market, serving a specific audience. And collectively is when you start to see the seven figures coming into that person's life. And that's just statistically what statistics show. The other thing when it comes to running multiple businesses is that you must have a team. You can't do things on your own. Shout out to two of my mentors, Miguel and Tiffany. They helped me with a whole lot of things. There are other people that I contact. We have a Microsoft Teams of other agents. So some of you may not know this, but I own one of my businesses is I own an insurance agency called Advent Insurance and Financial Solutions. And we are in Georgia, and we serve Georgia and Tennessee. And so you have to have a team. I have when you call my office, you are immediately sent to my extended staff that can help me with some of the things, because you can't do everything on your own. Okay, you just can't. And a lot of people who are in business and they're struggling right now, it's because they're trying to do everything on their own, and you just can't do it. Just really difficult to do that. So if you have the magic key on doing it on your own, let's talk. I'd love to have you on Money Monday. You prove me wrong. Okay. The third thing that make people successful when they are running multiple businesses is that they eat their frog. Now, let me just tell you, I have read this book. I've shared this book with my team. Eat your frog. So basically, what does that mean to eat your frog? When you eat your frog, that means you do whatever is the most critical thing to achieve your goals, but you do them first. You do them usually in the morning. When I come into my office, I have a set routine way that I do things in the office. And let me just tell you, when you eat your frog, um, that means it's usually the thing that is the hardest thing for you to do. It's usually the thing that is just not really fun, but it's just really critical. So one of the things that I hated doing when I used to book spa parties and stuff like that, I hated having to follow up and call my clients. But let me just tell you, the fortune is in the follow-up. So like, let's say you hate to pick up the phone and call your clients, especially if you're in sales. You hate making those calls. You got to eat that frog. That's the thing that you need to do the most. So eat your frog. And listen, if you're watching this and you would like to read that book, I actually will send you a copy of that book. It'll be my pleasure to give you that, because I don't believe in keeping stuff secrets. That book helped me to get over some of the things that I struggled with as a business owner. The next thing, how are you successful in running multiple businesses? Well, you have to diversify. You really need to make sure that, see, that's the key thing with running multiple businesses anyway, and why I strongly believe in multiple streams of income. If COVID didn't teach us anything, it taught us that we need to have multiple streams of income, because that basis, that foundation gives us stability when it comes to just our lives in general. It's one of the reasons why in your investments, you diversify your portfolio, which helps us in times like this, where inflation is going bananas and all of those kinds of things. So diversify, diversify, diversify. And the last thing I'm going to talk to you about, because we could talk about what it takes to run multiple businesses for a long time. But the last thing I want to share with you guys is that you really need to establish one and stabilize one, and establish a system. What I find is that some of the things that I do with my business, the systems that I use them in all of the things. So I'm not reinventing the wheel when it comes to running my businesses. And that's why maybe I have a little bit more order and organization, because I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel when it comes to stuff, right? So you establish your system, and then you just, kill it, knock it out one by one. Okay. Now let's talk about the transferable skills, because I kind of ran through those really quickly last week. And this was something that a lot of people were telling me to go back over, because I talked about transferable skills that we have, and we don't realize how those skills actually can help us to do other things. Okay. So let's go over the transferable skills now. So this is, you want to get your paper and stuff out if you hadn't already. So the first transferable skill that I want to talk to you guys about is problem solving. So what do I mean by problem solving? So basically, people who are able to do this, they not only are able to identify that there's a problem, but they can identify what's causing the problem and find a way to implement a solution. And so problem solving is a skill that you probably use at work. Not only is it a skill that you probably use at work, but it is a skill that you will carry from business to business to business when it comes to running your multiple businesses. The second transferable skill that we're going to talk about is analytical reasoning. So this kind of falls in line with problem solving. Some ways it is part of it, but it's taking that larger problem and being able to break it down into what I call digestible pieces, and being able to break it down into digestible pieces so that you can identify a solution. Some people really struggle with this. They know what the problem is, but they have a real difficult time breaking that thing down. But the only way that you can take an elephant down is bite by bite. So you have to learn how to stop and really get down into that analytical reasoning. This is a transferable skill that will help you be successful from place to place. The third thing was critical thinking. So what do I mean by critical thinking? And so it does involve the other two: problem solving, analytical reasoning. But critical thinking is being able to take an assessment, to be able to evaluate that whole entire thing, take an interpretation of all the information that you have, be able to make a judgment, be able to come to some type of conclusion and take action. And that is something that I personally feel is totally missing from so many people today, that critical thinking. I don't know what has happened, to be honest, with so many people, but it's just, for whatever reason, critical thinking is just out the window. This is when I really see it evident. So, of course, we have the internet at our fingertips. We can go and look up information really, really quickly. What you have some people, what they'll do is they'll read something on social media. Okay, well, if it's on the internet, then it has to be the real deal. They don't look and do their research and figure out what's going on with it, right? When you look at the evidence and you evaluate it and you assess it, then that will help you to determine whether the information is true or if it's more of an opinion before you even make a decision about what it is that you want to do with that. So sometimes when I talk to my boys, my sons, I say to them, they'll well, what in the world is going on? We are having some spam on YouTube, you guys. Do not click that link. I don't know who that is, but we're going to go ahead and block that person right now, so that we don't have, they're saying if you want to have a good time, but we blocked them. All right, you guys. So don't click those links, y'all. You know how people are crazy out here in these streets. But so critical thinking, sometimes when I talk to my sons and I'll ask them questions. So, did you think about what you're saying? Does that make sense? If you know this, then why would you think that? It's like a person who tells you that, I know that when you, eat ice cream, that it is warm, but you know that ice cream is cold. You know that it goes in the freezer. Like, those things, right? So that's part of like critical thinking, for example. Okay. Leadership, y'all. Leadership is the other transferable skill. So let me just tell you, leadership skills is not just about your ability to manage a team. Leadership skills is about making another leader. It's about the ability to lead on a project, get a team to follow through, get people to follow through with you, and to bring up other leaders. And that's the difference between the manager and the leader. And the manager is important and it is a transferable skill, but that's not what leadership is. And so many people, they are lacking leadership skills these days. It's not even funny, but that's a whole nother Money Monday topic. The fifth transferable skill that we're going to talk about is adaptability, y'all. So when you work in a role, when you're a business owner, let me just tell you, sometimes the wind will blow you to the left and the next minute you're blown to the right. Okay. So you have to be having that, you have to have that flexibility to adjust due dates, your workflow, how you even approach the day. So many different things can change in a matter of moments, and you might have to learn something new. I don't understand why so many people are so stuck on not learning something new. You have to learn to be adaptable when you are trying to be a strong business owner. You may have to learn a new skill. You may have to go and take a class. You may have to learn a new strategy. Times change. COVID totally changed the strategies of so many businesses. So many people fell off because of COVID. And when we went through the pandemic, and we're still in a pandemic, but so many people have fallen off because they did not want to adapt to the change. They did not want to make any types of adjustments. I do not understand that. And what you have to learn and understand that when you are in business, you have to be willing to adapt, especially when things change. Those of you who are running your businesses on social media, the social media is changing. Instagram is getting ready to change. And because Instagram is getting ready to change, for example, you may have content that you have created. And guess what? You're going to have to change that content because the sizes of your photos and your pictures are going to change. So you have to learn to be adaptable and you have to learn to be flexible. And change is not the best. There's a book I recommend called Who Moved My Cheese, and it's about change. So that might be something that's really good for you to read if that's one of your struggles. But when change happens, you have to take change with a positive attitude, and don't get stuck in that box of, this is my way. I only know things one way. This is the way that I do it, and that's it. Because you're going to find yourself in a lot of trouble. Okay. Now, the next transferable skill that we're going to talk about is teamwork. Y'all, teamwork makes the dream work. You knew I was going to say that. Teamwork makes the dream work. Together, everyone achieves more. You know, it is working together as a group to achieve the common goal. And so being on the team, believe it or not, and being part of the team are two separate things. There are some employers, for example, that they don't want employees to they don't want them to show up, but they don't they want them to show up, but they don't help them to achieve the goals, the overall goals of the business. You know, they want team players, but they don't collectively include everybody in decisions and strategies and rules and regulations and things that are part of the business. When you are working together with a team, what you want is you want everybody's input. You want everybody's expertise. You collectively take everybody and you pull everything together. One of the things that I loved about growing up is that I had a wonderful opportunity to be in sports. And sports really taught me that concept of teamwork. And then I took those same skills in every single thing that I have done, no matter what business I'm in, no matter what it is that I'm doing. The concept of teamwork, and teamwork, definitely, without it, you are going to struggle, y'all. No man is an island. I just want to let you know, no man is an island. The next transferable skill, you got to have this in order to master being strong in business and running multiple businesses, is communication. Communication is key. And you are going to use communication no matter what it is that you are doing. I don't care what job you're doing, what business you're running, whatever the case is, you have to have communication skills. You have to be able to give your information, give your ideas in a very clear, concise manner. There can't be any room for misunderstanding, and your ability to communicate effectively and efficiently to whomever you are giving this message to has to be key. You have to be able to communicate. Otherwise, things can be misconstrued. The goal, the overall goal, you could fail at the overall goal, whatever the case could be, if you're not giving clear communication and also getting that feedback so that you know that your team understands exactly what it is that you're trying to do and they understand what it is that you're actually saying. And so too oftentimes we think we're giving communication, but we're really not. And so it's really important that you have conversations, you continue to talk and communicate with your team so that you know that they know what it is that you're trying to say and it's clear. Okay, the next transferable skill, y'all, is listening. So this goes hand in hand with the communication, because let me just tell you, active listening skills it can't be overlooked, especially if you are working with other people. I saw this joke earlier where the lady was saying, if you tell me a secret, I probably don't remember the secret because I forget things. And she was also saying that sometimes too, not only does she forget things, but sometimes she's not even listening when people are talking to her. And she was saying that that sometimes when people are talking to her, there's music playing in her head in general. So let me just tell you, that is common, and a lot of people struggle with active listening skills. So you have to be a good listener so that you can fully understand what the speaker is trying to convey to you. The next transferable skill will be creativity. You are going to take creativity with you no matter what business it is that you're doing, or even your job. So let me stop and say that when I say creativity, I'm not talking about that you're able to paint or anything like that. Creativity is just simply how you are going to approach the task and you're going to solve the problems. So thinking outside of the box is creativity. Do you have a good solution to the problem for your clients, or whatever the case is? Maybe helping people see things in a different way. That involves creativity. So stay on the creative flow. The next transferable skill, y'all, this is number 10. We're almost done. Stay with me. Attention to detail. This is huge. So sometimes I used to rush a lot through things, and I used to rush. And I had to learn that you got to slow down and pay attention to detail. And that means that you notice the little things and you notice the big things, and that no matter how small something is, you pay attention to that thing so that it does not get lost. You're detail oriented. I try to make sure that I catch errors, cross the T's, dot the I's. I go over things. I try to be intentional about this so that when I execute, that I'm executing in an effective and an efficient manner, and I don't have to go back and do stuff over. I have checklists. I make lists just to make sure that I'm not missing out on all of those key things. And so maybe that's something that you do. If you have a strategy, tell us, like, what do you do to make sure that you cross the T's, dot the I's, and that you pay attention to detail? Let us know in the chat. Okay, so the next transferable skill will be project management. So those of you who are project managers, those of you who have project management certificates, shout out to you, simply because I've taken a project management class and I know the kinds of skills that you need to be able to manage tasks from start to finish. One of the reasons that I even took the class was because a girlfriend of mine, she took a project management class, and she was talking to me one day about the things that she had learned in class. This is when she was at school at Florida State University. And so I'm like, okay, maybe I need to take one of these classes and invest a little bit in myself to make sure that I too, because I was doing events and stuff like that, to make sure that I have the project management skills necessary to be effective. So you want to make sure things stay on time. You want to be able to adjust the timeline when things are not going as planned. You have no idea that is a skill that you will be able to use across the board. So many people really struggle because they can't visualize what needs to happen in a project from the start to the finish. If that is your weakness, you get yourself a project manager, or take a class in it. It is a transferable skill that you really need to be effective. And this is to make sure that the deadlines are met, that the projects are completed, and everything is effective and efficient. And like I said, this goes back to teamwork. If you are in a type of business that that's not your strength, you don't have time to learn this, or whatever the case is, you need to get yourself a project management manager on your team. The 12th transferable skill when you're running multiple businesses is relationship building. This right here is probably one of my strongest skills that I have. It is the key building block of any company. Without good relationships with your clients, without good relationships to other business owners, there will not be a business. And that to me is key. When you are able to build relationships and you're able to manage conflict and you're able to be an effective communicator, things just get better and better for you as an entrepreneur. I have no clue as to how people make it who do not understand how important it is to build relationships. It's just key and it's huge. But I will say that it is not easy. Some of us, you're really like a loner type of person. You don't have to have a whole lot, but you want to make sure that you know how to build relationships with your clients and other people on the team. And don't be afraid to meet new people. I don't understand why some people just do not want to meet new people when you are an entrepreneur when it comes to business. Do not be afraid to meet new people and ask yourself, why am I afraid to meet new people? Why don't I feel comfortable getting to know new people and stepping outside of that box or that comfort zone? So that's something that you really want to work on if you are trying to be a person who will be successful with multiple businesses. 13, and we have one more after this, y'all. But number 13 is computer skills. Listen, it is 2022. I have no idea why so many people, you don't have to be this tech guru to the 10th power, but you have to be able to work yourself around software programs. You have to learn like what software programs will help make things easier for you, and you can't be afraid of technology. Technology is the way things are moving. This is the wave. So many people do not even want to go online and because they're so used to doing it the way that they've been doing it. Times are changing. And so you need to have some type of computer skills in order to be effective in running multiple businesses. And last but not least is stewardship. Stewardship is that management that we were talking about. It is much more than just, hey, you do this, you do that, you do that. It is making sure that things are in order, that people need to be where they need to be, that you're doing the things that you need to do, that you are being disciplined in the things that you need to do. One of my goals, I just redid my goals for the second half of the year. One of my goals is to get my butt up earlier. And let me tell you, for the month of August, I didn't do that well this morning. I'm just going to keep it real. But for August, September, October, November, and December, the rest of the year, I'm going to get up earlier than I have been in the first part of the year so that I can be more disciplined with my time. And so when it comes to stewardship, it is about managing every single thing that you have. Are you being an effective manager of every single thing that you have? Okay. So those are those transferable skills that you are going to see when it comes to running multiple businesses, you guys. This is huge. It's so important. It is so key. And I just want you all to know that I'm glad that I was asked for us to go back over this simply because it is key. And so when you see these people, like I said, last week you met Wendy, but next week, in the week after, when you meet some of these other people and you see what they're doing, you'll know that it's not just a person who is running these multiple businesses, but all of the things that we talked about today, it's what they're living, it's what they're doing, it's what they are embracing, it is what they strive to be excellent at. It's the real deal. So I don't want you going in, like I said earlier, just thinking that it's just so easy to just be an entrepreneur. That's just not how the ball goes. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed Money Monday. I didn't give my typical shout outs today, but I'm going to say hi to all of you guys up here on TikTok. What's going on TikTok? And just want to let you know, TikTok next week, we will have a guest. So you're going to have to join us on YouTube. You're going to have to join us on Facebook so that you can see our friend. Those of you on LinkedIn, thank you so much for checking in with me every single week. The faithful Facebook crew, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Spotify, and Instagram. Thanks to those of you on the gram who watch and check in on Money Mondays. So let me just tell you this again. I'm sorry for those of you who are on YouTube and you had that crazy person posting that stuff. So of course, I can't do anything about that, but I blocked that user. So hopefully nobody got caught into the spam because that would not be good. How do you reach your girl? You can follow me on Instagram. I'm at Instagram at I am the Multipreneur. Would love to see you on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter at the Multipreneur. Those of you watching right down below, I'm on TikTok at Yaracel. So follow me on TikTok, and always visit my website, iamthemultipreneur.com. There you can get access to my journal. And today, if you do want to get your journal, you can use the code SAVE5. Save 5. It'll give you $5 off at iamthemultipreneur.com. That code does not work for those of you who are the Amazon shopper. So if you buy your journal on Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, and even at Walmart.com, that code does not work, but it does work on my website. All right, you guys, I hope everybody has a wonderful week on purpose. And if you are a person who runs multiple streams of income, multiple businesses, or you have multiple streams of income, you run multiple businesses, and you want to be a part of our Facebook group, just send me a message. I'll send you the link to our Facebook group, and it's a new Facebook group, but in that group is where we like to, and where we will be sharing strategies and business tips and tools and things to help those of you who have 3 or more businesses, and those of you who have 3 or more streams of income, just to help you stay encouraged and just be in the circle around multiple others who have multiple streams of income. All right, you guys, thanks so much for joining. Talk to you soon.